Here.
Eric,
Here.
Cheryl, here, Oscar.
Yes, ma'am.
And then we were told today that even planning commissioners for the zoning appeals have to be sworn in. I don't think we've ever done that. So I will swear in Josh, and then in January, just to get everybody, we'll do everybody else at that time. You good? You're good. If I'm gonna stand there, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Kansas, and faithfully discharge the duties of Planning Commission and Board of Zoning Appeals, so help you God?
I do.
All right. We are good.
Okay, and approval of any other changes to the agenda? So did you find that we had elections? Really? Oh,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, it seemed like we did. What month?
May? I think May.
I think June.
May or
Okay.
June, yeah.
Chairperson and vice chair.
Oh,
He had it on the
I don't think
preliminary
anybody wanted
agenda.
your chair.
Approval of minutes, October 14th, 2025.
Did you
Did
get
you
it?
approve the agenda?
Oh, I guess we did. So, I entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. I second.
Motion by Oscar, second by Eric to approve the agenda as written. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Approval of minutes from October 14th, 2025. Oh, wait a minute. I got some questions on this. Okay, I got one, on page 8. You got Eric, made a motion to adopt the findings and recommendations stated in the zoning administrator's report, and forward recommendations denial to the governing body. It should be recommendations, or the adopt findings from our planning commission meeting. They're different than what Dustin had.
And that's what it stated is, because he recommended denial.
Right, but I'm saying that it was based upon what? She's saying, or whoever wrote this, that it was based upon your findings, and your findings were all positive. It's not based on your findings, it's based on our findings, is what I'm saying. When, okay, and this is learning for everybody here. We, as a planning commission, when we're doing something for zoning, any zoning changes, there's 9 items that we go over. And when Dustin provides the information to us, he makes a preliminary, what he thinks it is. Okay, then when we go through and we have a public hearing, after the public hearing, we hear everybody, and we go and we deliberate on those 9 items. And when we did that, we had different opinion on stuff. And those were recorded, and they're on page 7. The planning commission deliberations and vote. Those should be recorded as the findings.
So
Richard, just to make sure I'm understanding, I should have said deny the zoning administrator's recommended approval, correct?
No, so, if you wanna do this, correctly, if you wanna, prepare for this meeting, I would go over those 9 items and come up with what you think should be in there, and we should record that stuff, it should be in the minutes. And that's what we base our decision on, whether we approve it or deny it. It's based upon what we find. And, Dustin's, he provides what staff thought when we first did this. But we find different things throughout the meeting and stuff that is different than that. So the findings, what we base our decision on is not what Dustin originally presented to us. It's what we present, or found out in the meeting. And those should be recorded. So, I prepared for this meeting, basically, and had what we found out at that meeting. I was gonna make sure everybody agreed to it and have that recorded in the minutes. Because what happens when this stuff goes to the planning commission is they see what the recommendations are from staff, and it doesn't make any sense that we deny that. If we say that, made a motion to adopt the findings based stated in the zoning administrator's report. And
Memory serves me correctly, that's what we were doing, and while it was a little bit disconjointed, it was implied that those conditions were going to be sent to the city council. So do we have a list of those to add to the meeting minutes to approve?
They should be,
They are in there.
yeah.
And on your, like the samples on here, it says that you adopt the findings and recommend denial. That's what these say.
yeah, but we're not adopting his findings. We're
That's the way
adopting
it's
our
always
findings.
been on there.
Yeah.
Right, that's where
You still sent the recommendation of denial. We put down what Eric recommended or made a motion for, and that's an accurate account of the minutes.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
But what's that based on? It's based, according to this statement, it's based upon what you provided us,
Okay.
and it's not based upon that. It's based upon our findings.
But your findings are in the minutes.
Your findings are listed
Yeah.
in the minutes.
I'm just saying that
Okay.
statement's not correct. I'm gonna
Then
hand these up.
then the verbiage needs to be changed in here, if that's not what you wanted to say.
Yeah,
Cause he read it exactly the way it was, the way they've always been.
well, I'm not sure if you did. So, this here is what I remember. Now, it's more words than what we, and I wouldn't want Chris to, try to summarize what all we say. So I think, in the future, what we need to do is provide this type of thing to her that goes in the minutes. Because the council does not see, what our deliberations and what they're basing their decision on.
My understanding that night, though, that they would have received this account of our recommendations.
They get a copy of the drafted minutes.
Okay.
They get these with that verbiage in there of the 9 findings that you guys talked about.
Can you tell us in this packet, what page those findings are? Maybe we're
Page
on the wrong
7.
Page 7 at the bottom.
Okay, sorry, it was on page 8.
Planning commission
So
deliberation
Richard,
and
do
vote.
these alter, obviously this is
Well,
summarized here.
I'm just kinda going by what this says with that motion. Adopt the findings and recommendations stated in the zoning administrative report. Zoning administrative report is this other paper that he provided to us,
This,
and I can't find it now.
the council
Yeah.
get that?
No, well, they get one of their own,
Right.
but this one's for planning commission.
So you're saying
Well, you might look over, so,
something in here, this verbiage in here, you don't agree with, right here?
right, it should be based on the findings of the, planning commission.
Okay, is this done? I mean, is it, did we agreed on it, correct?
Yeah, so I guess if we just change that wording to, that, I would be okay with that. I think this here that I passed out, I would look at that before we have the meeting and make sure you agree with what I recorded from our meeting. And some of that may be my opinion, so I mean, if it's, if you don't agree with it, let me know.
So are you wanting in these sample motions that you get in the zoning procedural outline, do you want those changed
Yeah.
to say
So
something
is
else?
Eric made a motion to adopt findings and recommendations,
But I
from
think,
the planning commission deliberations.
Well, these minutes are the way it was recorded, so we leave these minutes, cause that's the way it was recorded, but going forward, do you want these to be changed? That's what I'm asking, do you want
You
that?
can make any motion you want. I mean, this was just a suggested motion. That's what you have is, you know, usually you put in there,
Right, but
the
usually
suggested
when
motion
somebody
is, hey, we
makes,
agree with what Dustin said, and we, recommend approval,
correct, but I mean, when,
or disapproval.
they usually read off of here. Their recommendation
this
is
one
usually
again
read off of
was
here.
a little bit disconjointed, and I believe
Yeah.
that I may have combined two of those recommendations
Okay.
into one. What I think we should have said, instead of Eric Breckenridge made the motion to adopt the findings and recommendations, we should have said, I should have said, because Dustin, your recommendation was approval, correct?
Mhm.
Okay, so we don't want that one. So what we would say, and you did not recommend denial, on this sample motion, it would be number 4. We would want to deny with zoning administrator's recommended approval. So I would have said, I move that the planning commission adopt the following for this case. We would have listed those items, each consideration, we would have looked for each one of those factors, and we would have said, we want to support the recommended, I guess that's, I'm confused. I don't want to do the approval, but what is the sample motion to deny?
Well, I tell you what, the part of, and just hear me out, part of the agenda in number 5 is new business for today. To discuss review of the comprehensive plan, Kechi zoning regulations, and Kechi subdivision regulations. During that process, we can also have the city attorney look over the sample motions, because I know Andrew Kovar, the city attorney, did that for the procedural outline for city council a while back. And I don't think he looked at the planning commission, or at least when I sent that to him, he said he didn't need that one. So I can have him look that over again, just to make sure that we're good on the verbiage.
Yeah,
Well,
I agree, because page 8 of the minutes here, I did not intend to adopt the findings and recommendations
Right.
of, and so I think
That's
that's
fair.
the disconnect.
That's fair. It was still presented to city council in November that you guys recommended denial. Yeah.
yeah, and all I'm saying is they, you know, they get a denial.
Well, they need to
We
know why,
recommended
they
denial.
need to know why you're
But
denying,
yeah.
and I understand that, that's, I
Right.
agree.
And I think to be fair, I think if we can provide something like this that we all agree to, and it just goes into the minutes, and then it doesn't, you don't have to rely on Chris to pick up all that, because it is a bunch of people talking different things. So look at that before we have the meeting, and make sure you agree to what I had on there.
Can you confirm that the city council received on page 7, the 9 findings? Did they receive that?
They get this,
So they would have
Yes.
received
Yeah.
this when we
they
went
get,
forward to
they get the drafted
deliberations.
minutes.
And for this one here, I mean, I'm okay, it's already passed, you know, what and the city council send it back, I'm okay to, if everybody else is okay, I just wanted to bring that up.
I totally agree on
Yeah.
page 8, we need clarification, and it would be helpful if we could get those sample motions just re-reviewed by the city.
And the sample motions can be amended, you know, you don't have to say them exactly like they are, I mean, it's just a sample, so. Okay, then, you wanna approve it?
I so move.
I second.
Motion by Oscar, second by Eric to approve the minutes as written. All in favor? Opposed?
I'm in favor. You didn't give me time to
You're, yay, approved?
yes.
Minute, okay, that's motion carried. Alright. New business,
Yeah, so, planning commission, we need to do a review of the comprehensive plan and let's just get, I apologize, it's, we don't need to be watching cartoons at this time. Okay, so we need to do a review of the comprehensive plan, the zoning regulations, and the subdivision regulations. They should be done at least once a year. Past couple of years, that's on me. I haven't presented that opportunity to the planning commission to do that. With the comprehensive plan being out since 2015, it's only been reviewed once that I can find. It could be more, I don't know, but I know of at least one time that it was reviewed. There is grounds to be stood on that says that the comprehensive plan is not valid, in a sense, quote unquote valid, or a good document if it's not reviewed at least once a year. And this would be an opportunity for planning commission to look at the comprehensive plan, zoning regs, and subdivision regulations, go through and actually find things that you think need to be changed, and we have a good, healthy discussion for the next couple months. I don't expect anything in January. We've got holidays coming up. I would like to at least continue a partial discussion in January, and then really start to hit it in February and March. Just, you know, picking out lines, hey, this is, there's a misspelling here, or whatever. I know you all have busy lives, you all have jobs and things that you need to be doing, and this is all voluntary that you're here, but it is something that needs to be done, and I do want to give everyone that opportunity to give that input on these regulations. I will be doing it too. There's some things in there that I see that need to be at least amended, and this would be the perfect opportunity to do that. Do you guys have any questions for me on that?
No, I agree, cause it's been 10 years.
At least for the comprehensive, well,
Yeah,
They
so,
were
minus the one.
oh,
In
so, yeah,
21.
so, but,
21?
yeah,
21.
code
Yeah,
changes and all that stuff, so yeah, we just need to make sure we're up, you're making sure we're up to date.
That,
on
yeah,
that.
that word, yeah,
Yeah.
like the
100%.
comprehensive plan.
Yeah, I got you.
I get it, I'm not trying to hit on anybody's feelings, but the arts and business district, is that something that is still relevant within the city, given the past 10 years and where we're at, and seeing new or no businesses or houses, whatever, go into that area? We need to look at that, and if it comes down to it, to where we look at this for a couple months and you guys decide, you know, maybe we need to review the comprehensive plan and get a new one, then we can take those steps forwards. I'm not trying to lead you down a wrong path or anything, or get my way on anything. It's more of, we need to review this, and we need to start doing it as soon as possible.
I got one question, does everybody have a copy of the comprehensive?
Probably not. That was gonna be my next statement, is if you need a copy, let
I
me
don't
know,
even know
send
if
me an
I've got a
email,
copy.
I will get you a hard copy.
Yeah,
Can you
I need it.
just go ahead and send it out to all of us, make sure we're all on the same page?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so is this is it on the Kechi's website?
It
It
is.
is.
You have to search for it up in the search box, comprehensive plan,
Right.
or the zoning regulations or the subdivision regulations, you can find it there. But, you know, we've got plenty of folders now, I believe, and if not, we'll get some more. And, yeah,
Sure. So, just, if I may, new guy here, just to kind of get up to par. As as like the genesis of the 2015 plan, could someone speak on that as far as like what went into that as far as the creation of it? And is this process ultimately, if there are changes or whatever, will that whatever that new plan supersede the 2015 plan?
No, the 2040 comprehensive plan was implemented in 2015.
Okay.
So there was a process of a lot of community involvement,
Right.
a lot of questions being asked, surveys being done, and it took a process of a while before they were able to get something together and get it before city council and then vote on it, saying, yes, this is the direction that we want to move the city of Kechi.
Okay, so just to clarify, if we go through that, which we will, and we'll definitely do our due diligence on it.
Mhm.
If there are changes of any kind, this is something that we discuss here, and then ultimately, will there be, an equitable approach, with the city council or
There should be,
public
yes.
at large?
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's useful for you guys to, hey, page 39 of the zoning regulations, there's a misspelling of this word here, send me an email. I'll make a list and I'll go through it and I'll put together a visual aid for one of the planning commission meetings that we have and show, this is what has been presented to me that needs to be changed or suggestions. And then we decide I don't say we, I apologize. You guys decide what needs to be changed and whether you want to or not.
Sure.
You guys could vote tonight, say, no, we've reviewed it, we don't wanna do anything,
Yeah.
and we move on.
Yeah, spellings would be like one thing to me, but talk about, for example, to use your example about the art business district, whether or not it's viable or not, that was kind of like more, to me, maybe something to include the appropriate parties with that discussion.
Absolutely,
Okay.
that's one of the bigger ones. Right now, just wanting to take baby steps in that
Yeah.
direction, yeah.
Thank you.
What's the current lifetime right now of the 2015 plan?
The 2040 plan,
But it was 2015, right?
yes, it was adopted in most comprehensive
So
plans
are
are,
we waiting to 2040
do what?
to redo the plan, or is
You
it
don't have to.
5 or 10 years?
That's just how long it lasts. It's a 25-year plan
Right.
to where we want to get the city of Kechi, to the point of where we basically, this is our goal, we wanna get there. And,
Was it redone every 10 years? What is it? Because
do what?
it's been done twice since I've been on this.
It's been redone?
Yeah, the first time was, they had, three planning commission members, and can't remember who else. But, I mean, we went through and reviewed the whole thing, or then the second time it was done was by the PEC, I believe. The first one, Bickley, was the professional,
The consultants?
consultant that you guys used.
Okay,
And the second time was PEC, and the last time PEC did the whole thing. I
Yeah.
mean, they had meetings and stuff too, but.
right. Yeah, I
and
don't
that
know
was
about
done
the
in
Bickley
15.
one. The current one that we have right now is the only one that I know about.
But it gets redone every so many years, 10 years or something like that.
Okay.
I was trying-
So you're saying since 2015, you've been here and it's been done twice?
No,
Okay,
the
that's what I was listening, that's what I was getting at.
2015, he said was the last one, right? The
Yeah.
PEC did?
Yeah,
Doesn't seem like it's been that long, but
There you go.
there was one before that,
okay,
that was, must have been 2005 then or something. I don't know.
okay.
Yeah,
I've been on the
like
board
Josh
with
was saying, I would just be afraid that if we're making any very large wholesale changes to the plan, that there is public input,
Absolutely.
and all of
Yeah.
that. So
And everything has to go to city council and has to be approved by city
Right.
council. Yes, yeah,
would
we're
it be
not
our
gonna leave anybody out.
recommendation, the further that, could we provide a recommendation that the further that we get into this review, that we're like, oh, this is, potentially, we need to have another plan drawn up, or a group.
If that is a necessary course that we need to take, we can do that.
What would happen is you put the input, if there's several items that we think need to be added or changed, then they would set up a public hearing, we'd have a public hearing that, would be presented, that stuff, and the public could make comments. And then we'd give a recommendation to the city council.
Yep.
And then they would make the change. And same thing with the zoning regulations.
Mhm.
So,
They kind of go together a little bit.
so we're not gonna have training tonight, this is just a,
Nope, I've got a PowerPoint ready to go for everybody here.
oh, you got one,
Yep,
okay,
are we moving on to training?
yes.
Okay. All right, so planning commissioner training, essential planning tools. This is just a brief overview of what you guys work with in the 3 key documents, which is the comprehensive plan, the zoning regs, and the subdivision regulations. The comprehensive plan, I'm gonna read a lot of it from the slides, I apologize. A document intended to articulate the vision of the future for the community by the people of the community. It is a tangible representation of what the city wants. It's sometimes called a master plan or a general plan. It depends on where you're at and who you're talking to. The 3 factors that make a comprehensive plan: the geographic coverage, the subject matter, and the time horizon. Long range, typically 20 to 30 years. Ours is a 25-year plan, and it was adopted in 2015. It sets forth the major policies concerning desirable future physical development of the community, clarifies relationships among physical development policies, coordinates development of the community in a way that promotes health, safety, and welfare, promotes efficiency in the process of development, including consideration of fiscal impact on property owners. The Planning Commission's recommendation for development and redevelopment of land in the community considers the entire community, residential and commercial, along with parks and open spaces, public services. It typically extends beyond existing borders because we expect the city to grow during those 25 years, as an example for ours. Adoption. Public hearing is held by the Planning Commission. It must be done before adoption or amendment, so we have to have that public hearing. Notice of hearing published at least once in the official newspaper, at least 20 days. Plan can be adopted in whole or in part. Majority vote of all members of the Planning Commission required to adopt a resolution recommending the plan to the governing body. The certified copy with summary of public hearings forwarded to the governing body. Governing body may take 1 of 3 actions, just much like the zoning cases that you guys hear, conditional uses. They can have they can take 1 of 3 actions. They can adopt it, deny it, or send it back to you guys. The Planning Commission is required to annually review or reconsider the plan, provides for the opportunity to address any deficiencies or changes in priorities. There's no statutory penalty for failing to review the plan, but failure to annually review can result in the plan not being relevant for making land use decisions. That would cause it to be raised as a procedural claim / deficiency in litigation. Zoning regulations. Zoning is governed by a legal process that demands decisions based on facts, not opinions. This is very difficult for most people to do. That's a quote from David Yermont from the American Institute of Certified Planners. The first widely adopted form of regulatory implementation tool. They remain the most widely used and discussed planning tool. Most of the time when I'm presenting the case to you guys, it's going through the zoning regulations, making sure that it fits and that everything is accurate. It involves the division of the community into different districts or zones, which are our zoning districts. Typically regulates land use, intensity, and bulk. The base use categories in most communities, and it is ours: agricultural, residential, commercial, and industrial. Subcategories are typically based on intensity, orientation, scale, and character. Matters that can be addressed by zoning regulations: restricting and regulating the height, number, and stories and size of a building, the size of yards, courts, and other open spaces, population density, location use and appearance of buildings, structures, and land, conservation of natural resources, including agricultural, use of land located in floodplains, and setbacks. The adoption process is similar to the comprehensive plan. We have to have a public hearing, let the public talk about it, we discuss it, it goes to city council where they approve, deny, or send it back. This is a picture from back in ye old, long time ago. This is what zoning regulations try to prohibit, is people living on top of each other, and there's nowhere for, people to have their own space, diseases flourish, things get dirty and nasty, and everything is a headache, and it's not a good time. Subdivision regulations set minimum standards for placement of streets, water lines, utilities. They also govern lot size and placement and creation of open space. The legal mechanism by which land is prepared for development based on precise locations and dimensions determined by a licensed land surveyor, called a plat, and addresses design of internal streets and utilities resulting in the layout of lots and blocks, relationship of streets and utilities to larger community, ensuring continuity of streets, management of stormwater, and logical extension of utilities, construction of the actual streets, utilities, and other improvements. They also cover review. Subdivision review is an administrative process. If the proposed plat conforms to the subdivision regulations, it must be approved. Preliminary plats usually are approved with conditions that must be met in the final plat. Drawings submitted with the final plat show exactly what will be built. Final plat measurements establish engineering standards that can be used in construction. Dedications of right-of-way and easements must be accepted by the governing body. They don't approve the plat. And that is the it on the regulations for the training portion. Does anyone have any questions for me? Because I probably can't answer.
I just have one comment. I only see myself and Cheryl that's got a book. You're supposed to bring a copy of zoning regulations and subdivision regulations. Oh, you got one too.
Do I,
follow.
or do I
To the
print it out
meeting.
myself?
Huh?
Where do I get that?
From
Okay.
them.
I'll get
Give
you one.
a copy.
Alright.
And wasn't there, forget what you call it now, the document that tells how we operate, you know, as far as like when we have our elections.
Bylaws.
Bylaws, yeah. Didn't you guys do some bylaws?
You guys did them.
Well,
You guys
okay,
created.
I mean, but I still don't have a copy of that.
I gave you a copy a while ago, because you asked for one, yeah.
I thought so,
a long
but I
time ago.
couldn't find it.
Okay,
So,
I will make sure,
Can't
yeah.
find me another copy. Okay.
I have a copy. I
okay,
asked
cool.
for a copy. You gave, Chris gave me
Yeah,
a copy.
I know, I was looking for them either today or yesterday. I
Let's
couldn't
just
find
email
them.
everybody another copy of the bylaws, how's that?
I can do that.
There you go.
All right, thank you, Dustin.
Yep.
So we'll go down to preliminary plat, SP 2025-02, Kano's edition.
Hey, Richard,
skip public
we have a
forum.
public
I have
forum,
public
we've got a couple people wanting to talk, or at least
What?
one.
Well, we have one.
Public forum.
Public
Number
forum.
7.
People wanna speak?
I'm sorry. Did I skip over that?
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay, public forum,
Jody,
what do you have?
Did you go look at that?
just have the one.
Looks like after me. Okay. Pat said he had put one in.
Oh, I still have it.
Oh, he still has it? Would you like me to take it over me?
Like, no, no.
We set my paper here. You're welcome. You're welcome. Joni Harris, 109 West Chippewa Street. Good evening, commissioners. I'm going to be talking on Kano's edition ahead of the presentation, so I'll revert to my wording. Okay, this was approved as R1 with condition to put duplexes. I've given you a little packet that shows R1 information regarding duplexes, as I'm gonna go through some of this information. As will be shared by our zoning administrator, lot splits are not legal per zoning code in R1. Even though that is stated, there are ways for lot owners to split duplex lots. To ensure this does not occur, I know this is a preliminary plat approval tonight, but I want this all put in as part of your preliminary consideration. I'm asking the Planning Commission to add the condition of deed restrictions on all duplex lots in Kano's addition, so there will be no future issues regarding non-compliance with Kechi's zoning code. It states that the structure and lot have singular ownership. I am concerned that this rezone was done by the City Council from the bench instead of sending it back to the Planning Commission for appropriate conditional decisions to be made on a large residential development. I would like to know what percentage of duplexes are planned for this development prior to plat approval, as the original application indicated duplexes with single-family homes in R2. I've included the lot size. I know that Dustin's going to cover all that in his presentation as well. I just want to ensure that only 35% of the lot will be developed in that addition, which is according to zoning. I included the R2, which was the original multifamily. And then I'm going to go to the last page. The final page includes building standards involving duplexes within R1. I've highlighted those which are applicable to this case. Before the plat is approved, I would like to hear how these standards are going to be met by the developer for item A and B under 10.2. In addition, the water and sewer master plans, I brought those forward previously regarding this case, and no discussion has occurred regarding the impact of this large residential development upon Kechi's utility infrastructure. A 2 million gallon water tower was designated for this property, but has not been addressed during the rezone process. Prior to approval of the plat, I would like PEC to come to Kechi to review these master plans that were received and filed July 13th, 2023 by the Kechi City Council. If those plans are not viable for the city of Kechi, what are the alternative options that the city should consider prior to growth and development impacting existing infrastructure that is now headed towards the east? The question of rural water and the city of Kechi providing water, which was requested with annexation, has not been discussed. Please invite a representative from rural water and the city of Wichita Water Department to come and present their perspectives on this residential development and its impact upon the city of Kechi. If Kechi will be providing water service, is the developer responsible to buy out rural water's rights of service for this property, or is it the city of Kechi, and at what cost? I would also appreciate hearing Public Works Director Thomas Bevan share his insights and perspective regarding expanding services and development to the east. It's important for public reassurance that this residential development will not negatively impact our city's current infrastructure, and if it does, who will be responsible? The current residents and business owners in Kechi should not be financially responsible for expanding our infrastructure system. These costs should be the developer's expense. Getting questions answered prior to approval of a final plat is very important. As it goes for the 2040 comprehensive plan, this project does meet a desire for a variety of homes and prices, but it falls short of meeting other comprehensive plan goals, including on page 25, web page 33, chapter 5, local resources. An open space park area was identified for this area. I brought this up during the rezone process, but no action or consideration was taken to incorporate this into this proposed development. On page 33, web page 41, chapter 7, transportation. There will be a significant increase to traffic with this development. The comp plan indicates a need to coordinate with KDOT to provide safe and efficient access to and from K254 at interchanges. When will that occur? Where is KDOT in that development process? I know that KDOT is currently considering Rock, Webb, and Greenwich, but there's not a plan yet to move forward or what that plan is going to be, nor a timeline. A residential development is likely going to happen at this location. Reasonable questions have been brought forward for additional consideration, and I'm asking the Planning Commission to table the decision until more information is provided so an informed decision can be made before sending on to the governing body. I have an additional concern that when they switched it to R1, there was no requirement to buffer to the adjacent farm next door, which was shared with you all that it's an active cow-calf operation. So there's just so much with this and you didn't get to speak into it because the city council took over and made a decision from the bench. And so I'm asking, as you go through this platting process, that you really consider the things that I've brought forward, and that there's a number of things that need to be addressed before it heads to final plat. Thank you.
Okay.
Ready for me? I'd like to reiterate what Joni said, that, how we got here, that you folks very rightly seen through this mess. This mess, only way to put it, by rejecting the R2. I applaud you for that. You seen through it. You did the right thing. So then, on June 26th, the council overrode your rejection. Not only did they override it, they took it upon themselves to change the zoning themselves. Not send it back to you guys. They changed themselves to R1 with duplexes. And then the very telling tale is they had no discussion. Why they overrode you.
Oh, just 1 second. Hey, Justin, did they change? How did they do that?
They changed it to R1 with the condition that duplexes can be on the property.
Well, I was just wondering how you do that without having a public hearing.
Because they can make a recommendation because it's a lower intensity. And the main concern was, well, there's going to be apartment buildings, quadplexes, things of that nature. R1 doesn't allow for those type of things. So, but duplexes are allowed on conditional use. So to make sure that apartments, quadplexes aren't in that subdivision, they changed it to R1 with conditional use of duplexes. So it was trying to work, give a little bit, take a little bit.
Okay. Well, I mean, I just didn't know they could do all that, but that's okay.
So, yeah, I gotta ask, why is the commission here? Why are we here if council's just gonna override you anyway? So,
Well, didn't this come before us and we said it could be developed?
No,
No,
We
did
said
not.
no?
Yes,
Yeah.
no.
I must not have been here.
Yeah, you said.
You voted
You
against
were.
it.
It was 4-1.
I was the one.
Yeah.
Okay.
so now we got this, minimum size lots. I guess no restrictions on duplexes. Every one of these, minimum size lots could be a duplex. And I bet, if we took the same density with duplexes, and you go any direction from 61st and Oliver down here, any direction to the first plot of land where you can put very many homes, this room would be full out to the lobby. But since it's a little appendage out here in the country, we're kind of, neighbors are few, but they're back here in the corner. So, yeah, this is just terrible. So next, there are 7 or 8 oil wells on that south half. I don't see that on here. So I asked AI. AI kind of said, well, the developer must disclose known and abandoned wells on the plat. Now, I don't know, that was Wichita Sedgwick County, so I don't know what you guys do here. And then once it's they're marked and they get to permitting the homes, and there has to be some mitigation go on in case that home is set on top of an oil well, or make sure it's plugged correctly. Now, some of those oil wells were drilled in the 80s, and those drillers went defunct. Who knows if they're plugged correctly? Yeah, I'm also very concerned about just the number of duplexes. They're going to put every one of these lots is going to be a duplex. And then I'm not sure the colors the existing culvert again across 69th is big enough to support the northeast drainage reservoir pond that they have, so. Yeah, I would hope you would deny this, but thank you.
Okay. Well, okay,
On the oil wells,
I mean, a lot of the,
No,
okay, so they're dormant. And are they doing slab on grade, or are they doing basements here? They're probably doing slab on grade,
I think so, but I'm not sure.
okay. If they do slab on grade, I don't know where the guy went. When you, for ground that's had oil wells or whatever, pipelines, vacate pipelines, if they don't dig a basement, then they can use that as long as they get it vacated.
Well, but it has to be marked on the plat, doesn't it?
but they're doing a basement, aren't they?
Just like what happened at Palm Meridian on 77 between Seneca. That was all oil field. Jayhawk Oil
Right.
owned all that. They took all of it out, and then now it's slab on grade development.
I understand it's, you know, it should be marked on the plat, I would think. That just makes common sense. And then, yeah, when you permit your home or whatever you're gonna build on top of it, then there's probably building regulations for that. I'm guessing, you know, with a slab, yeah, you do it one way. If it's a basement, you do something else.
Right.
Or pressure test the plug so you know that natural gas isn't wafting up out of that well.
Like a perk test?
I'm sorry?
Like a perk test?
Well, I don't know, they mentioned, you know, if the casing is still there, maybe they can re-cement it down or whatever. I don't know, I'm getting in over my head here, but.
well, I
Yeah.
think you're over the head of what planning commission.
Right, for now, I think the locations of the wells need to be marked on the map, so everybody knows where they're at.
Dustin, do you have any comments on the two things they brought up?
No, first I've heard of oil wells. It wasn't brought up at the last one for the zoning and the annexation. This is the first I've heard of it.
So, okay, so you have PEC look at the preliminary plat, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And so some of these comments that you had in there, did they come from PEC?
Yeah, some of them were by me.
And where are is that stuff recorded in the county records as far as the oil wells and all that stuff?
They should be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And don't they go, I mean, when they do a plat, you're having a surveyor usually do that with, maybe with engineers, but they look at all those county records, so I mean, I would think somebody knows about it. I'm just trying to, because it's not really something that we get involved in, you know, I mean, it's.
Right, right.
The Miller,
Josh, do you have,
Yeah, well, I'm not sure about the exact location of the oil wells. What we'll do is we'll go through a review process with KDHE when we submit plans, and they're going to go ahead and review everything, and then they'll tell us what we need to do as far as the testing on the old wells.
so this says Miller on here, on the engineering. PEC is just your guys that review it, right, Dustin?
That's the
yeah,
city.
those are our consultants.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would tell that these people aren't gonna go this far and spend this kinda, if they know they can't build on it. So I would just suggest in the future, if someone's I'd call PEC, they're easy to deal with, Bachman's easy to deal with, I've never heard of this one, but you can call them and ask them how far their investigation is, cause that's not necessarily our job.
No, I mean,
I would just call them, or I call KDOT, you know, if I have a question with real estate, I call KDOT, or I call Central County, or I call PEC. So,
Well,
because we don't know the answers to that.
Well, on the internet, I mean, you can get on there and the Kansas Geological Survey, I mean, they'll show you exactly where the locations are in latitude and longitude. My point is, it should
I'm Josh White, I'm the agent for the applicant.
Okay. So we don't have anybody from the engineering firm?
Yes, yeah, I'm from
You
the
are?
engineering firm, yes,
Okay.
correct.
Oh, okay. So should it be on the plat?
I think that that's something that would be listed in the subdivision regulations. I don't think that it is, and we also haven't done a full topographic survey of the property yet. We've done boundary survey work. We haven't done a full topographic survey.
Okay, and you had something in your notes about that they can't do lot split
Yes.
on, we'll go review that, what do you have on that? So they have existing duplexes over there, and they've been doing lot splits on those?
Thomas and I just had this conversation, cause I was told by a realtor that they had sold one side. According to Kansas, you can.
You can owner occupy one side and you can rent the other, you can
You
rent
can
them all.
rent it, but you can sell one part
Yes,
of the
yes,
duplex.
it's real estate.
Isn't that,
You-
doing a lot split then?
You can do that on a duplex in Kansas.
You can't do it in R1.
I don't know about that for sure, but yeah, Thomas and I had that
It's R2.
conversation because I told a realtor it wasn't allowed.
Depends on the zoning.
And so
Is there a
Thomas
lot
says it
split?
is allowed. We might not like it, but
But
it's
it's-
allowed.
Oh, even though, well, I mean,
We'll have
but
to
our
follow up
subdivi-
with
but some of
Thomas
it
and see
doesn't-
what it is,
it
cause
doesn't
that's what
comply
I
with
said,
our-
well, can't we put a conditional use or something
A
on
deed
it that
restriction,
says,
yeah.
you can't do this, cause it's a nightmare.
And you can't do a deed restriction either. But that makes like 0 cents to do that.
We have zoning regulations.
so,
Huh?
We have
I-
zoning
you were
regulations
s-
of lot size.
then in your notes,
I do
Some
have
of
it
the
marked here
suggestion-
that is something Joni was
Uh,
inquiring about, yes.
some verbiage to
Yeah.
limit that?
So legally, they can't do a lot split. They can take the required information down to the county and do a lot split that way. They don't care, they just, do you have everything here? Yep, it's done. But if that happens, that note is on there to tell the engineer and the property owner that they can't do it. That there's going to be recourses if they do. And what'll happen is, let's say you buy a duplex out there, you decide to split it, whatever, you're now in violation of zoning regulations because your lot is too small. You're in a duplex, and this is gonna throw you for a loop probably, but a duplex is considered a single-family home.
Mm-hmm.
So, your lot size for what they've got right now is going to be a lot less than what the minimum required is for a single-family home in R1. It has to be 70 feet, and most of them are between 80 to 90, with a few going above, a few going a little bit below. But for a single-family home, it has to be at least 70 feet. And if you're at 80, you cut it in half, you're at 40, you're in violation. So now, I would give them notification, you're in violation, these are the steps you need to do, and it's going to be, you're gonna have to go through the process of getting a variance or something else, to where they're gonna have to, it sounds kind of weak, but they're gonna have to go through the process of getting a variance and have it approved by the BZA.
So it's not, the older duplexes you could sell side by side like on Nantucket, the ones, what I'm saying is the ones by Walmart, 53rd and Meridian, you buy the whole duplex, you can't buy one side or the other.
Right.
So you can do owner occupant if you want to, because you own the whole thing.
Right,
Yeah, so I understand, you're just doing what they have been doing like over there.
yeah,
You buy the whole duplex, it's $360,000 and you can do whatever you want with it.
yes.
You just can't sell one side or the other, you own the whole
And
thing.
I
Right.
have a realtor out here that is selling only one half.
Over there.
Is that by regulation or
She probably went to Sedgwick County and got permission
Yep.
to do it.
Yep.
There you go.
is that by regulation or by just whoever?
It's Sedgwick
developed it?
County. You can go before the planning
Sedgwick
commission,
County.
Sedgwick County, and even though you said you can't do that, Sedgwick County, if they agree to do it, then they're gonna do it.
Well, is there anybody else?
Yes, Teresa.
I just have a couple questions more. So, Because duplexes are allowed by conditional use in R1, in our zoning regs already, when they are building these duplexes, does that have to come before this body? Because, and I'm not sure, because the council approved a conditional use of duplexes without a conditional use hearing. And a conditional use has to come before hearing, so that's just my question. So if we are going to allow duplexes, do those still need to go through a conditional use hearing, because that was not held?
Correct.
And if, and I'm not sure, because I know, like I said, they've been going through the county for years to split those lots against our zoning regulations. Would a restriction on the plat that was actually noting that, would the county have to follow that as part of the plat? Because I know it's in our zoning regulations, and the county doesn't have to follow our zoning regulations, but if that was a condition on the plat, would they have to follow it? So, and that's just a question. And then, because my other thought is, also when you said that they can have a variance if they have split the lot, under my interpretation of, and my education with this, is that would not be a valid variance, because one of the first conditions of a variance is it cannot be caused by a direct action of the owner. And a lot split going to the county, the owner had to do that. So in that case, it wouldn't be, it could not be granted a variance because it violated that first condition of what you have to need to do a variance. So my biggest question though was, do we have to have conditional use hearings moving forward on these duplexes to allow it?
And this is for R1 you're talking?
Yes, because
So where are you talking about?
well, if you look at the table of uses, and I don't know what page it's on,
Okay.
it says that duplexes are allowed in R1 as a conditional use. And I don't, like I said, I don't know what page that is.
Is this zoned, and they ask for Kechi to zone this?
Yeah, it's zoned.
It's zoned. It's
So
zoned as R1.
if it doesn't pass, they can say, we don't wanna be in Kechi anymore.
No,
so
it's already done.
It's annexed and
They
zoned
did it.
for Kechi.
Yes.
The only thing left they have to do is start.
But I haven't, yeah, okay, sorry.
So no, so that's just, so, and I just, so on the table of uses, primary uses, it says that duplexes are conditional use in R1.
Yes,
So
that's a good question.
So that's just,
Yeah, that is,
those are my questions to consider.
I mean, they would have to have a public hearing.
No,
What?
That,
city council already approved it. With the condition that they can have,
Conditional use
for all lots to have a duplex on it.
okay.
But if they didn't follow the procedures.
they didn't
Right.
follow the state statute.
And I'm going, and again, I'm just going by what my
Okay.
understanding is. I don't have the attorney background, so that is something that we would need to ask.
Okay,
He asked me a
that's my
question.
question.
I'm giving him the best answer, and you are correct, a variance, Teresa is correct, a variance would not work, but they would have to go, I probably misspoke, they would have to go through a PDO, plan development overlay, to allow their lot size to go through that, and, which is costly-ish, but it's something.
Okay.
Doesn't a PDO have to be done in combination with the plat? Or can a PDO be done separately after a plat has been done, or is that considered a replat?
I think it can be done separately.
Okay,
That's after plat, site plan, I mean, it'd be like a site plan, right?
so.
Do what?
I said it'd be like a site plan, the PDO.
No. No, PDO is combining two zoning districts into one, making special cases.
Okay. Okay, anybody else? Okay.
Well, Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead.
I might have some comments later, because, I mean, technically this is, Dustin, this is like number 9. I don't wanna skip number 8.
No, we're still on number 8.
Okay, so I see
You're
Ace
seven,
Restaurant.
seven.
and I didn't
Oh,
know-
7, we're on,
Public forum.
Right,
Oh,
and
it's-
so
Oh,
I,
7, is it right?
I will have some comments when we officially get to number 9, but.
Okay.
That's all we got.
Real quick, I'm sorry, excuse me, I'm not on the list, but I own the property east and north of this plan you're doing here. And you guys are sure you have sufficient drainage runoff to keep this city from running across my property?
Yeah, that's. that's
No,
not us.
no, it runs off of there all the time now,
No,
it's
no,
rainwater, it's
I'm
okay.
just saying that this preliminary, this plat goes to the city engineers, and, they do, flood
I don't want all of them trash
That's
this
the
way
drainage.
run across my
drainage
property.
plan, yes.
Does it have a master drainage plan, like curb and gutter, I'm assuming?
Yeah, so they have a drainage plan, so.
Which one?
Yeah, it's easy to say, I just wanna make sure it's true.
And the city engineers usually will review that, make sure that they agree.
The drainage plan is.
Maybe you should just go through your petition.
And I don't know how many people in
Right?
this room try to make water go where you don't want it to, but it ain't easy.
Do the presentation.
Oh, I know all about that.
Is it curb and gutter, Justin?
Not right now, because if I'm understanding things, there's some lot sizes are being changed, right?
Yeah, but yes, it will be curb and
Okay,
gutter
so
street.
with curb and gutter, you have a master drainage plan.
Let's hope.
No?
That's
If it
not
was
something-
our
we'll see-
ditches, it
we'll see
wouldn't
as time comes.
necessarily, but, I don't know, I'm just, I do real estate and development, so I'm just, it has to, it's curb and gutter. So it
And
won't
that's
flood anybody.
really between, the developer and the city engineers to make sure that that's all adequate and stuff. I mean, it really doesn't have anything to do with.
Oh.
It's a concern for pasture ground.
Huh? Okay, anybody else? Okay, I close the public, or the, public forum. Yeah, what's the, number 8, public hearings restaurant?
It's a typo.
Okay.
We're all trying to figure it out.
So restaurant goes out, okay. Preliminary plat, go ahead, now we can discuss the rest of the preliminary plat. Maybe you'll give us some information that'll make more sense.
All right, so name of the subdivision is Kano's Addition. It is meeting the requirements of 1 through 6 here. It does need the name and address of landowner and subdivider, the name of the seal, and the land planner on the surveyor. Existing conditions, location is met, horizontal locations within adjoining the subdivision and existing sanitary sewer system, that's coming. Contour lines based on the MSL of 2-foot intervals, all of that stuff is here. Location of monuments or markers used in the survey, those are marked and indicated on the plat itself, the preliminary plat. Location and direction of water courses and boundary lines, there's no water courses on it. Any significant natural features, there's none. Existing land use and location of structures to be removed or remain, there's nothing there. Boundary line of subdivision and acreage therein, it's met. Zoning districts on the adjacent adjacent to subdivision, those are marked. Proposed plat, we've got the layout, street names, location width, approximate dimensions, not applicable, sites or other single-family dwellings and sites dedicated or reserved for parks. Building setback lines are on there. Vicinity map in relation to proposed streets. Statement of nature of proposed and intentions of financing, that is not discussed on there yet. Preliminary drainage plan if required, it is on there, it is a preliminary. And comments, reference may be made to the above items. Requesting conditional approval on corrections listed on the pre-plat. Collector Street needs to be added in the middle, on the east to west of the property, and our utility, or Public Works Director is still looking at utilities for the plat itself. You should have a sheet, it's just a plain white piece of paper with some stuff written on it. All it is just it's basically what's written in pink at the top of the pre-plat for ease of eyes. There are minimum lot sizes 9,000 square feet. There are several lots that do not meet that requirement. Name of subdivider as discussed, separate utility concept plan, approval of final plat conditional on corrections from the city water engineer. Just everything that was indicated above, these are the conditions that need to be met to have a final plat. Looking at the plat itself, there are several lots that don't meet size requirements and width requirements. Those have been addressed, and Kechi Miller knows about it, and they are going to get it adjusted and fixed. The design of this is probably going to change between now and the final plat, just because the lot size is like I-8 right here. Minimum requirement for single family is 70 feet, for duplexes is 80. And it's we're showing, this isn't accurate here, this needs to be measured around the setback line itself. So going straight across does not get that accurate measurement, but if it's around 60 feet, it doesn't meet that requirement for the minimum lot width. It might meet it for square footage, just not minimum width. So things do need to be adjusted. Some of these lots sizes will be changed during the process. We have reserves, and up here is the Magellan pipeline easement. And again, down here, and I believe you guys are starting off at the south end of the property and moving north, is that right?
Yeah.
For development wise. We asked them to indicate which properties will have duplexes and single family. And I believe your response was, we can't do that at this time, there's no set
There's no indication that single family
versus duplex
sells
on
better,
a,
they're
on a
gonna build
lot.
more single family.
Right. Now, if it comes up to it when they're doing the process for a site plan to put a building on there, and it doesn't meet the size requirements, then we'll have a different talk at that time, where, look, it doesn't need a duplex, it has to be a single family. And that's the nature of the beast. We've got Rock Point Phase 3 up here indicated, and then an unplatted area over here in A1.
So, on that other development, that's, so they had bigger lots? I mean, they were okay down there?
I don't know, I wasn't here for that one. I came in at the tail end of Phase 3, and I had to do pretty much the only thing I was able to do for Phase 3 for Rock Point was fill out about 60 fence permits in a day. That was it.
So, okay, so just looking at the lots, they look a little bigger, but I don't know.
I don't either.
I mean, they have. These all have duplexes, don't they?
Yeah, they're I would say there's 3, maybe 4 single family houses in Rock Point. Yeah,
The first ones.
yeah.
So now I have a question.
Go for it.
Isn't that dirt road all the way up around that?
Yes.
Are we gonna leave it dirt road? They gonna,
We'll probably be required to pave that as part of the project.
so how far do you pave?
We'll probably go up to the property line, 69th paved up to the property line on the west side, and then it'll be up to that intersection, and we'll work through with the city engineers on what they want. But yeah, that'll all be paved.
So now, do we have anything where you have to put a buffer or anything on the backside, like to where roaches, cattle and stuff are gonna be?
Not R1 against A1, no. I don't think so.
Can we make them put something there?
Not during the plating process.
Yeah, it goes on the plat. or that's the way we've always done it in the past.
What kind of buffer are you looking at?
I don't know.
No, I mean, I'm,
I mean, you know, are they, you know, put a big mound on there? The biggest deal is that I see is his cattle are not Gentile. I've helped him work them. Sorry, Roach. What's going to keep those kids from jumping the fence and going in there and something happens?
That's a fact.
It's going to happen. I mean, I was a kid
Right.
once. I used to go up there and mess with man's pigs. I mean, you're a kid. You're going to do it.
right.
Somehow, some way, we need to put some kind of something in there to try to keep that from happening.
Isn't it too late for that?
No? Why is it too late?
Council was on front of that.
Well, I mean, he's gonna have to
Put
redo
it
the
on the
plat
plat.
instead of a berm.
Cause we didn't
Put it on
follow,
the
like
plat.
what do you call those,
I mean, fences, berms, I mean, there's
but,
all kinds of stuff you can
Yeah.
put.
Well, I'd
I
ask
mean,
the
it's just
developer,
something to
because I'm
think
pretty
about.
sure if
I
he's
mean-
gonna spend $10 million, he may not wanna be next to a cow pasture either, so maybe he does have plans to do something, I don't know.
I'm sure they will. I guess a couple options that we could do is we could plat some sort of narrow reserve, and in the uses specifically state this is for screening, landscaping, that sort of thing. What we could also do is plat I guess you could plat some sort of like easement or buffer. It's been done. I think doing it as a reserve would be a little bit cleaner, because you get to talk about the uses and approve those uses in the platter's text on the final plat.
Well, so you can do, we could do reserves or something like that, but you'd have to ask the engineer guy.
No, I'm just putting it out.
you're right,
Can you move that over a little
absolutely.
bit?
Well, but the other thing too, he's worried about getting flooded out, that's one thing that floods anybody else that is a berm reserve. But I'm just saying,
I understand the whole deal, that's, but we gotta make everybody happy too. And try to take care of.
So Dustin, I have a couple of questions. If I can jump in here,
Go
Mr.
ahead.
Chairman, is that okay?
Yep.
So, I mean, from what I'm hearing is there might be a question or whether or not, when the council took the vote, that there may be some clarity needed from the city attorney. Is that what I'm understanding, or did I read that wrong?
It sounds like it.
Because it sounds like there's a lot of confusion,
Mhm.
and city attorney can maybe clear a lot of that up. I mean, as far as the plat goes itself, I mean, it is what it is, they made the vote, but, I don't know, I mean, I guess just to make sure, if it's worth doing, it's worth doing right, so, you know, maybe that could help clear a lot of this up. I don't know, Mr. Chairman.
I noticed that we kind of skipped introduction. What is your background stuff?
Oh.
Just for,
My background?
yeah.
Just, I guess, yeah, Joshua Gaines, my background is, you know, lived in the Wichita metro area most of my life. I've worked in, different fields, government, private enterprise, whatever, and, I guess my background closest to this is spending some time out in Goddard and spending some time with the, city planning out there, and, so yeah.
Thank you.
There's a lot more, but I don't wanna bore everybody.
I just wanted for us, if you know, what your background is, second, is beneficial with us, you know, kind of.
Yeah, I've large background working with different people from different walks of life, so.
So, Dustin, what are you recommending on this?
That you guys accept it with the conditions of, we look at, a buffer on the west side, meet all the requirements that were indicated on the plat in the pink or purple, whatever you wanna call it, on the piece of paper up here. And it's not like like I said, the final plat is gonna go through some revisions.
Right.
and this is just the first step to get there. So it's not like you're gonna see it in January, maybe February, I don't know. But there's gonna be some work done, and we need to get input from everybody. This is just the pre-plat to get there. So my recommendation is that, you approve the preliminary plat, subject to the staff comments and discussion, which would include the berm or the fencing or whatever it is, like Oscar had suggested.
I don't have that. At least I'm not finding it.
And another question I have, so if it is curved and gutter,
I'm sorry, what?
if it is
I got
curved
it.
and gutter, then all that water goes into the sewer system?
Not all of it. It should go into these retention ponds. You've got one here up at the north. We've got Reserve F.
Okay, and then once those retention ponds are full, then where does it go?
Yeah, this year they'd have been full the whole time.
I mean, I'm just asking for clarity.
Right. And that would be the same answer.
Do you know?
I can answer. I don't know.
He knows.
He knows.
Yeah, I can help try and explain it a little bit. The way that drainage works when you're doing a bigger development like this is your property is going to naturally flow in certain directions. And with the increase of development, you have increase of impervious area, and then you're going to increase the runoff. The detention ponds work as just that. They detain the flows. So our post-development flow rates cannot exceed what is already flowing in certain directions. So like, for example, on the north side, our detention pond will retain enough water during all the years of storm, all different percentage storm rates, that we won't exceed any of the existing conditions as it is now. If that makes a little bit of sense, or if that kind of helps.
Jessica, ask a question.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Dustin, any comments on the, I mean, I know we're planning commission, but, so this may be out of our realm, but any comments on the infrastructure, like a water reserve that is voiced as a concern? Any comments on that, or?
Thomas was asked this a while ago. He had said that we can handle a subdivision of this size, no problem. There might be some extra work that needs to be done to make a circuit on some of the utilities, especially gas. But anything beyond this, size-wise, is probably a no-go. Things are gonna have to be looked at in 2026.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Looping some things.
looping, that's the name of it, yeah.
One thing, I just found this.
Yep.
So I didn't, but you have down here a public hearing. We're not required a public hearing for.
I threw this together because it's a pre-plat. This is the first pre-plat that we've done together. Everything else has been a one-step final plat. So I just threw something together real quick before.
Yeah, I mean, we've never done a public hearing for.
Right, like I said, I just used an old one and I went forward with it. The ones that you've used in the past for subdivisions, they've always been crossed out on the public forum, like this one is.
But yeah, I don't even think we've never done one for the plat, public hearing, okay.
So,
Preliminary plat.
Go ahead.
okay, so has Thomas seen, this plat, and does Thomas know, and we don't even know, how many new residents that will be here, right? So, we don't know how many duplexes are gonna be here. So we don't know how many new families are gonna be here. So we don't know exactly as far as the additional water that's gonna be required for this.
But it's gonna go in phases.
Yeah.
I mean,
But is this
it'll be in
rural?
a phase, this will be
water
phase one,
district,
this
or
No, this will be city.
It'll be city.
It'll
Yeah,
be city.
yeah, because we do Rock Point on this north side right here. All we have to do is just move it up. I say that, they're gonna be out there working their butts off, but.
they're gonna do it in phases, so
Yes.
this, I mean, this,
No.
the end of it may not be built till 2035.
But that's not right.
It's just,
Right.
and we need to
If it's on a rural water
we
district,
approve
you
this, so
can't
they can
just take it.
may just be adjustments to
Rural
the
water's
other
got
lots that don't
laws
meet.
protecting them than we do.
Yeah,
So
they
if you
do.
If
don't
it is rural
approve
water,
it,
That
then
needs
you
to be
have to
spoken
buy
out,
it
like-
out, you have to,
You have
or
to buy
let them
'em out.
serve it, I mean, it's a process, we won't just automatically have that water system.
Okay.
Can you say that
I
loud?
call
Can
you
you
clarify that, please?
I said if, I'd have to look at the rural water map, cause I don't know sure where this one falls into. But let's say it's rural water one, maybe?
one.
It's the opposite of whatever
One.
Dustin said to begin with.
Okay, so that is their right to serve. We cannot serve it without some type of agreement, buyout, whatever it may be. That is their right to serve. And you can't just take it. Mhm.
And the property that's on our right side of the screen that says unplatted tract, that person currently has rural water.
It's an old farmhouse.
I mean, I don't know if there's been conversations about possibly taking over that area. I don't know.
Yes.
It has to be a buyout or something. Yeah.
Okay, he's got a couple of buffer of some sort, buffer on the east, is that what you said?
West.
On the west. Between what?
These guys have rural
I just
water.
had between R1 and the A1 is what I had.
Then, also on the,
On
Is
what?
that A1?
the north.
Yeah, I have between R1 and A1.
Okay, but to the north would be,
The street.
right, but you were talking, yeah, I thought you were talking about, they put some kind of a buffer on the north side of the, like a berm or something.
No, not on the north side.
Not on the street. There wouldn't be on the street.
I think you can make that,
Yeah,
or we can probably do it between agriculture and R1.
Yeah.
okay, what do you guys wanna do?
Well, Mr. Chairman, can I throw a motion your way and
You sure
you
can.
can deny it if you like?
Well, I think it would, everybody will vote. Is there a second?
Sure. Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to, if it's not knowing entirely all the legalities of everything, I'd like to make a motion to delay the vote until we get more information from the city attorney.
I'll second it.
Okay,
Okay, so tell me exactly what you wanted to say.
Well, just more clarity on,
Okay.
just on the, because we have a lot of questions about, if I'm reading correctly, different kind of borders. I think we have questions on the voting process on it.
Okay.
So,
Can I,
go ahead.
we're looking at plat-wise, we have to look at it, can this plat legally move forward? Not whether there's, who's serving the water, we're not looking at that.
Right.
So,
Okay, so.
That was kind of my motion, was
The
the legality.
process of how it was done
Exactly.
on the commission. Then when it come to us, and if it's all been done correctly or not.
right, so, as an example, if you guys vote to approve this, I forget what approve the preliminary plat, that gives them permission to move forward with the final plat, which the preliminary doesn't even go to city council.
We want clarity first.
On, for what legal aspect?
If it was done legal or not.
If what was, which part?
When the council switched everything and done it.
Are we talking about the zoning process part?
And being able to put the duplexes on there.
Okay,
And how the process is gonna be on the duplexes,
okay.
Yeah, that was.
correct?
Right.
Right, this isn't a yes or no, it was just to get some more information.
Yes.
Well, maybe, can you get, okay, tell us what, what the plans are to, for this, you got the preliminary plan.
Correct.
Yeah, just the process that you're gonna be going through. And
So-
who's gonna see it and who's gotta see it.
Right. So the next steps after the preliminary plat would be us preparing the final plat. The final plat will be the first final plat will be all the way up until the transmission lines. So that all is going to be within the first phase of the final plat. Now the first phase of development is only going to be 20 lots or so along the east side of Rock towards the south. That's what our first plans are going to be. We'll have plan sets for water, sewer, storm, etc. Those will get reviewed by the city.
Is that the only thing that'll be on the final plan? Or are you talking about this whole thing?
No, so we will plat up until the KGS easement, and then we will only develop 20 or so lots at a time as we go through the phases.
So you'd like maybe the city attorney to come to the next
Get
meeting
these
and
people back in the
explain this process?
Yeah.
Is that what you guys would like?
The motion can get denied, I just.
No, you made the motion and it was seconded.
Okay.
We'll vote on it, but,
Yeah.
I guess I'm trying to see what we're expecting. It'd probably be the city attorney coming, right, to this meeting? Do we do that?
What's he
I mean,
gonna explain?
Well, I don't know, I mean, he's the one that, the question is, was the process legal?
Well, yeah,
That's what you're saying.
what is this zone as?
Our room,
Which is what the
but we didn't do it.
council.
Well, that's what I'm saying,
Agree,
is
right.
was that legal?
We got overridden.
Yeah.
No, the R one is done correctly, but where they put in where they could do the duplexes,
Right,
that done correctly,
the conditioning.
the conditions.
The condition, allowed the conditional use without a public hearing.
Right here. There it is, right here. See? Zone R1 with conditional use for duplex.
That sound good, so we need to, they wanna know if,
I don't know, that's right.
if that was,
Mm-hmm.
if you can do that, if they could approve. That's the way I get out of this. If that was done correctly without a public hearing. Right? Is that what you guys want to do?
And can we do a barrier of some sort between R one and agriculture?
Aren't you talking about on the north side?
That would be the west side, correct?
Yes, the west side.
It'd be along the west side.
West side, that's where,
Oh, it's
Cattle's
over here.
over here.
Over here.
okay.
Yep.
Not up here.
All right, any other discussion on that?
Cause what would be to the east of it?
The road,
The road and then more agriculture.
It's just agriculture, east and north both. One house on the east and nothing on the north for a half mile.
Correct. Any other questions for the lawyer?
any other thing you want, so you wanna know, in the motion, you wanna know, well, what, we are tabling.
Yeah.
Yep.
Could you, because we're doing number 5, I just want, can we clarify what the issues or concerns are that we want to?
I put that you want clarity on, if it was lawful
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
for council to approve with conditions without having a hearing.
Right.
And then as well as the borders between R1 and A1.
Okay, any other questions you want to ask?
And once we get that, we get to have a vote.
Okay, so your motion, I'll read it, is, you move that the public hearing be adjourned until schedule planning commission, meeting on 1/13/2026 to allow time to allow time to find answers to those questions.
So,
Is that correct?
so we have to ask the city lawyer a question, and we have to wait for 30 days
Yeah.
to get an
We
answer?
might.
Can't we
We'll
just
see if
find
he,
out?
we'll see if he can attend the meeting.
Yeah.
Special meeting, do it right.
So maybe we could have a special meeting or
No.
whatever.
Well,
Just do it right.
I get what everybody, but you table stuff, it just goes back, and we still have to make a decision. Well, like you said, going through mine, it can't, 1 through 9, it can't be a personal issue, it can't be, no, I'm talking out loud.
We
So,
can see if we
What,
can
can
get,
it be allowed? That's up to it can be allowed. The engineers are the ones that are gonna have to bring in the water and all that stuff.
Yeah,
And that's
that's
not
stuff.
our job.
Yeah, they're not
We're not talking
questioning
about
any of
the
that,
water.
they're just.
Well, I'm just saying, we're gonna postpone it to see if the city council legally let them have duplexes? Is that the question?
One of them.
One of them is in the
Cause you're
barrier.
supposed to have meetings.
Okay,
we'll
Okay.
see if he can attend. If he can't attend, we'll at least have an email with those answers.
okay.
Mhm.
All right, so we have a motion by,
I'll second it.
no,
I
Oh, you seconded
by
it?
Josh.
Josh,
Second
and
by Oscar.
second by Oscar, to table the public hearing till we find out the answers to those questions. And give a vote, Josh?
Do I vote to table it? Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah, yes,
You're either in or out.
Yeah or no?
No.
Yes,
Okay, so it's 4-1.
I'm gonna be that
To
one on the
table.
paper.
and
Huh?
You're our one.
That's okay.
All right.
Good job, Counselor.
Okay. I would entertain a motion to
I
adjourn.
so moved.